Today's Namaste Yoga is the last of the 5 hindrances and is part of our Awakening Your True Self series. And the 5th hindrance is doubt. Hello and welcome to episode 324 of Namaste Yoga. I'm Dr. Melissa West. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for welcoming me into your home as we journey into our innermost home for the next hour. I would encourage you to put away all your distractions, close all your windows in your browser so that it's just you and I spending the next hour together. Turn off your cell phone and let this be an hour that you can have with and for yourself. We are still in our Awakening Your True Self series. This is the last of the 5 hindrances. We are focusing on doubt today. And I would like to thank Squeezed Yoga Clothing for my clothes. Today I'm wearing a bamboo tank in this purple color that says Yoga Makes Everything Better. And I'm wearing navy blue capris with the yin-yang symbol. And thanks to Dusky Leaf for providing me with my props. And today you're going to need your yoga mat and your blocks and a meditation cushion. And I want to thank Bene for her testimonial, and it came in on SpeakPipe.
Hello, dear Melissa, this is Bene. I just did your last class yesterday after I came back from my trip in Mauritius. I just loved your class. It was just delightful. I had all the things I've seen and all the things I smell and all the things I heard. And my head was full, and thanks to your class I could recenter and find some balance now after this week of trip. And it was just nice, and I just agree with the fact that sometimes we can go sleepy during restorative classes. And yesterday I was really aware of the sensations in my body and in my mind, and it was just perfect for me. So I hope you are well and you will enjoy your vacations from March break. I wish you much love, send you much love to you, Tim and Trinity. Goodbye.
Thank you, Bene, for taking the time to leave your response. And you can leave me a voice message too, just at melissawest.com. There's a little icon where you can click on a little microphone and you can leave me a voice message, and I respond to all of those as well with a voice message back to you. So today we're going to start by lying on our backs with our knees bent and our feet flat on the floor. So you can just take a few moments to make yourself more comfortable, make a few adjustments. So you may have saw that I pressed into my feet and tucked my tailbone under so that my low back was long. I tucked my shoulder blades under. Just going to check in with the back of my neck to make sure the back of my neck is long so that my chin and my forehead are at the same level. And if they're not, I'm going to put a little cushion underneath my head. And then you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it fall out of your mouth. And allow yourself to arrive here now. And then I want you to take a moment to take in your surroundings, to take a moment to notice where you are. And then we're going to very deliberately and slowly close our eyes as a way to very intentionally turn inwards, so that this next hour together is a time of inward focus, so that we can signal to our bodies and our minds that we're going to take this time for internal focus, for a deeper level of awareness and mindfulness than we might normally have in our day-to-day life. So by turning inward, by closing your eyes, you're signaling to your mind and to your body to awaken that internal awareness now, and that internal sensing and that internal knowing. Just take a few moments breathing in and out through your nose to check in and to see how you are today, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. And make a note of it. Notice how your mind is, how you're feeling in your mind, and notice how you're feeling in your body. And then you're going to take one of your blocks and place one of your blocks between your knees. And this is just for good alignment between your hips, knees, and your ankles. And you're going to press into your feet until your pelvis starts to lift off the ground. And start to feel your connection to the ground between your feet and the ground. So you'll feel your toes, the pads of your feet, your heels. Feel where your feet lift off the ground at the arches of your feet. Feel the strength of your legs through your buttocks, your hamstrings, your quads. Feel your inner thighs working to hold the block in place. And continue to cultivate that internal awareness and inner strength and inner fortitude. That stability through your feet. And then inhale here. Breathe out and slowly roll down through your spine until you feel the back of your pelvis lower down onto the ground again. Keeping your eyes closed, breathe in here. And breathe out. And then we're going to do this again. Only this time you're going to have the option of extending your legs, doing a one-legged bridge pose. If you want to, you can stay with this version with two legs on the ground so you know what your own energy is like today. You know what your own strength is. But I'm going to give you the option to lift one leg and the other. We're going to think about cultivating our inner strength, our inner fortitude, that inner stability. So I would encourage you to try, but also honor your own limitations today. So take a deep breath in. With your eyes closed, exhale, sinking down through your feet. Feeling your pelvis rise up off the ground. Pressing into your left foot, extending through your right foot. Feeling that inner resolve. Lower your right leg down. Inhale here, re-lift. Exhale and lower down. Pause at the bottom, take a deep breath in. And exhale. Relax completely into the ground. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, feeling both feet on the ground. Press into your feet until your pelvis lifts off the ground again. Gathering all your inner strength and fortitude, pressing into your right foot and extending through your left leg. Breathing here. And then place your left foot on the ground. Re-lift, breathe in. Breathe out and lower down. And then take a deep breath in through your nose. Breathe out and let yourself settle into the ground. Okay, allowing your attention to stay inward. Take your block out from between your knees. And then draw your knees into your chest. Stretch out your low back. If you have any low back issues, hold on behind your knees. Knee issues, hold on behind your knees. And then let your attention stay inward as you transition over onto your belly. Okay, on your belly, you're going to bring your elbows underneath your shoulders with your forearms pointing straight down, your palms spread wide. And we're going to continue to cultivate this inner strength, this inner fortitude, this stability. And you're going to inhale here. Exhale, you're going to pull your hip bones back and up. So you can stay here. And I'm going to give a modification if you have any low back or slip disc issues. Otherwise, you should be okay here. You're going to tuck your toes under. You can stay here on your knees, or you can lift your knees and come into full dolphin plank. Breathing here. If you have any slip disc issues, you're going to lie on your back with your knees bent and do abdominal curls instead. So lowering your knees, drawing your knees up underneath you, sitting back on your heels, and breathing into your low belly and your low back. If this bothers your knees, you can lie on your back with your knees hugging into your chest instead. Okay, then come back down onto your forearms and your belly. You're going to press into your forearms and your elbows, so you're broad across your chest and your shoulders. And then you're going to pull your hip bones back. You can stay here, or you can tuck your toes under and lift your knees. And then remember, the modification, if you have slipped disc, herniated discs, is to lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor and do ab curls instead. Okay, then lower your knees. Draw your knees up underneath you. Sit back on your heels and rest. If you have any knee or ankle issues here, you can lie on your back and hug your knees into your chest instead. If your belly gets in the way here, you can open your knees and make space for your belly. Okay, for the next one, we're going to come onto your right elbow with your legs out in a long straight line. Your elbow directly underneath your shoulder. And for this one, you want to roll your shoulders back and down. And the idea here is to create a space between your rib cage and the ground. And we're going to modify this by bending your knees back. And then you're going to lift, so you're lifting up and out of your shoulders. So people often complain about this one bothering their shoulders, but it's because you need to lift out of your shoulders on this one. So the more you can take it into the core, the less it is in your shoulders. So you're going to lift up and out of your shoulders and reach up. And again, I would encourage you to close your eyes to connect with your internal strength. Breathe in. Breathe out and slowly lower down. So that one is great for building bone density in your upper body, particularly your shoulder, preventing osteoporosis. Come on over to the other side. Let's do this on the other side as well. So you're going to come on your left forearm and elbow now. You're going to take your shoulder and you're going to pull it back and bend your knees back, and your body's in a straight line. Lift your rib cage away and lift your hips off the ground. Reach your arm up. Close your eyes for that internal strength. And then slowly lower down. And we're going to come up to seated for the teachings for today. So you're going to need a block or a meditation cushion or a folded blanket to sit on for comfort of your hips. So sit in such a way that your knees are lower than your hips and your spine is straight, your ears are over your shoulders are over your hips. And we'll just turn our palms downward, close our eyes for that internal awareness. Take a deep breath in and let it fall out of your mouth. So my intention for you at this time is for you to receive the teachings. So this is somewhat different from a meditation practice. This is a time for you to receive a short dharma talk, a time to receive a talk on the teachings of yoga. So I see this as separate from your meditation practice. If these teachings resonate with you, great. But if not, you can just let them go. So that is why you're sitting in a way that is allowing you to be alert and receptive. So this is the final week with the 5 hindrances. The 5 hindrances are common mental states that arise in our practice and lives, and they can impede our practice, and they can trigger us in our lives, and they can cause us to get caught up in monkey mind. They've been observed and taught as part of Buddhist studies. In teaching about the 5 hindrances, Sharon Salzberg quotes the Buddha. He says, "Our minds are naturally radiant and pure. Our minds are shining. It's because of visiting forces that we suffer." So the 5 hindrances, grasping, aversion, sleepiness, restlessness, and doubt, are all guests in our home. They're just visitors. Sharon Salzberg says that they may visit a lot or even continuously, but they are still visitors. Naturally, as human beings, we become identified with these visitors, and we take them personally. We think that we are right or wrong, or we're good people or bad people, depending on who is showing up in our house on any given day. When we see ourselves as bad or horrible people, these states pull us in and they distort our perceptions of ourselves. They make us feel stuck. However, it's not personal when we feel doubt, for example. It's a normal thing that happens to every single human being on the planet. So mindfulness is very important when doubt arises. To have discernment of our inner critic when thoughts such as, "This isn't working," "I'm not good at this," "This practice isn't good for me," "I'm not good at this practice," "Maybe this practice would be better for me," or "I can't do this," "I should try something else," "This isn't the right teacher for me." When these kinds of doubts come up, it's really important to check in and to recognize it as doubt. So we're going to go over some tools so that you'll know what to do. So Sharon Salzberg says that when doubt arrives, it shows up saying, "I'm the deepest truth that you'll ever know," and that it takes a lot of discernment and the process of discernment to uncover the truth. So doubt might show up in your practice saying, "This kind of yoga isn't working for you anymore," or "This kind of yoga isn't good for me," or "This practice isn't good for me." So we really need to use discernment to uncover the process of truth. So we need to give our practice time. We need to evaluate our practice and see what we are receiving from the practice physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. Because sometimes we're coming up against triggers and things that are coming to the surface to be transformed and healed. When we can bring this level-headed, calm assessment and continual evaluation to our practice, it's an opportunity to turn doubt on its head. So one area that doubt may arise in your practice is with your yoga postures or your asana. You may doubt that you can do a certain yoga practice or yoga posture. So when that doubt arises, you can ask yourself, is that true? So it's important to have a willingness to experiment fully with the doubt when it arises. This process of investigation to see for yourself may take the form of trying a modified and safe for you version of the yoga posture. So even if you can't practice the physical posture, for example, there may be a way that you can stay engaged with the teachings. So for example, if you're doing one of my classes and you know it's a posture that's contraindicated for you, it might not mean just fast forwarding over it, but it might mean staying engaged mentally, emotionally, energetically by finding a modification and staying connected with your breath and staying connected with the teachings and staying connected with the overall flow of the class. So for example, I was connecting with another teacher's teachings this week, and there was a posture that there was a movement that this teacher was teaching, and it was causing pain for me. So I asked the teacher about this, and the teacher gave me a modification. And so now I have a way of coming to it and doing it. So there was doubt. And when that doubt arose in the past, what I would do was throw out his whole system, right? Instead of throwing out just the one movement that wasn't working for me, I would like, oh, well, this isn't working for me. But when I looked at what in particular wasn't working for me, then I was able to really get honest with myself, find a modification, and then follow through and stay with the program and the teachings. So I think I'm belaboring the point now, but I think you get it. So reflect on how this relates to you and your life and where you come up against those edges in your practice and in your life, and set an intention for what you would like to receive from the rest of this class. What is it that you would like to create, sustain, release, or rebirth in your life? And how can this practice help you to do that? Today we are using a lot of strengthening postures because I think it takes a lot of internal strength, a lot of internal awareness to notice when doubt arises, and as Sharon Salzberg says, to know that it's not that deepest truth that you'll ever know, to be able to have that kind of strength and clarity and awareness to question it, to say, is it true? And to experiment and evaluate and see it through. So once you've formed your intention, and you can start to wiggle and stretch out. And we're going to start to make our way up to standing. And so let's do that through Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And I think this is particularly true as you're recovering from injury. You know, there are poses that are contraindicated for injury, but as you're recovering through them, at a certain point you have to start building modifications back into your practice. Otherwise, and this is talking about recovery. Once you've recovered, otherwise you atrophy certain muscles and then you never rebuild. So like downward facing dog would be one of those poses for me. If I just start dumping that pose, it's never going to come back for me. Okay, so it's not a pose that I can do perfectly yet again, but it's one that I have to check in on and modify and try again. So we'll come into that. So your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. Spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes under, breathe in. Exhale, reach your hips up. From here, you're going to look forward to your hands and walk your feet in. And then make your way up to standing. Okay, from standing, you're going to need a block. We're going to continue to cultivate that inner strength and fortitude. So you're going to take your block and place it between your knees for that alignment between your hips, knees, and ankles. And you're going to take your arms straight out in front or overhead. Inhale here. Exhale and sit straight down. And once you get seated, close your eyes for that internal awareness. And then you'll inhale and stand back up. And then release the block from between your knees. Going to take your feet wide on the mat. Turn your feet out to, let's do about 10 and 2 o'clock. Inhale here. Exhale and sit straight down. You want to bring your legs as close to parallel to the ground as you can with your knees reaching back, and then bring your arms up for Goddess Victory Squat. And once you get into that position, then close your eyes again for that internal awareness. If it's too much of a balance challenge, then open your eyes again. And then you're going to inhale, come up to standing, toe heel it in, and shake out your legs. And you're going to come to the top of your mat. From the top of your mat, we're going to come into a standing forward fold. So you'll inhale and reach straight up. And then you'll exhale and hinge forward. And then you're going to step your feet back to a plank position. And then let's challenge yourself. So you may have some doubt as to whether you can do this, but you can try. You're going to come down onto one forearm and then the other forearm. And then from here, you're going to reach back and up into Dolphin pose. You can walk your feet in a bit too. So this is building strength in your upper body. And then lower your knees down. You're going to sit down on your heels and sit back. I'll get you to take your hands down by your feet and rest in child pose. If this bothers your knees, you can hug your knees into your chest. Remember to open your knees enough to make space for your belly. Okay, from here you're going to come onto your bellies with your legs out long. So take your palms down beside you with your palms facing up towards the ceiling. And your legs down by the side of you. You're going to roll your shoulders back and up so they're in line with the rest of your back. And let's just do our legs first. So reach your sit bones towards the backs of your knees so that your low back is long. And I'm going to get you to tuck your toes under. Lift your knee and reach back through your heel. I did that on my right side first. Then do that on your left side. Tuck your left toe under. Lift your knee and reach back through your heel. You'll feel that creates some more space in your low back. Then inhale here. Exhale, reach long through your right leg until it reaches off the ground. And then lower down. Breathe out, reach long until your left leg reaches off the ground. And then lower down. Breathe in. Breathe out and reach both legs off the ground. And lower down. So that strengthens your glutes and your low back and your hamstrings. We're going to do our upper body now. So re-roll your shoulders back and up so that they're in line with your upper back, and then lift your arms up off the ground. Inhale here. Breathe out. Draw up through your pelvic floor. Draw your navel back to your spine, and then inhale. Lift your chest and head up off the ground. And slowly lower down. And then let's put all these pieces together. So we'll start with the upper body. Your upper body, roll your shoulders back and up. Lift your arms up off the ground. Breathe in. Breathe out. Draw up through your pelvic floor. Draw your navel back. Inhale. Lift your chest and head up off the ground, and then reach your legs long off the ground. And then slowly lower down. So that's turn your head to one side. We'll just pause and rest here on your back. Very strengthening for your entire back body. You probably felt that even in your triceps. And then keeping your awareness internally driven. So just noticing what's happening with your breath and your body still. Mindfully roll over onto your back. Okay, on your back, you're going to have your arms in a soft T with your palms up. I'm going to have you have your palms up because that's going to prevent you from really gripping the ground and using your arms. We're going to do a strengthening twist here. So you're going to bring your knees up to a 90-degree angle. I'm actually going to get you to put a block between your knees too. And the goal here actually isn't to put your knees down to the ground, because if you do that, it actually kind of makes it easier. This is a strengthening twist. So it's all about using the strength of your abdominals here. It's not about landing in the twist or going further. So you're going to inhale here. Exhale. Draw your navel back to your spine. Inhale, you're going to exhale, you're going to slowly start to drop your knees over to one side. And as you do that, you can feel your abdominals engage, but you can also feel, so my knees are going to my right, so I can feel the left side of my torso lengthening. And see how I turn my palms down, because that gives me a better grip. So I'm going to turn them back up again, so I'm using my abdominal strength. Inhale. Exhale, use your core strength to bring your knees back to the center. Feel the left side of your body shortening again. So inhale here. Breathe out. Slowly lower your knees down to your left side. As you do so, feel the right side of your body lengthening as the left side of your body shortens. Inhale along the right side of your body. Exhale, use your core strength to bring your knees back to the center. Now you're going to inhale here. Exhale, you're going to slowly lower your knees over to the right side. Feel the left side of your body lengthening. So feel your knees and moving away from your shoulders, and feel the whole left side of your body getting longer, longer, longer. Inhale. Exhale, use your core strength to come back to center. Keep your eyes closed. Keep that internal focus that we've been gathering all throughout the class. That internal awareness and mindfulness, gathering that internal strength and fortitude. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower your knees to the left side, keeping that core strength. Now feeling the right side of your abdominals lengthening. So a modification of this would be, if your core isn't strong enough, would be to have your knees bent, your feet flat on the floor, and to lower your knees from side to side. Exhale, come back to center. So you're going to do it one more time like this. I'm going to show the modification for the last time. So you're going to inhale here. Exhale, so the modification would be like this. So you would still feel that lengthening on the left side and contracting on the right side. So if your core is just not strong enough, you could do it this way. Inhale. Exhale and come back center. And then inhale in the center. Exhale, lower. Feel that lengthening between your left shoulder and your left knee. Inhale. Exhale, use your core strength to knit the knee and the shoulder back to the center. And then keeping your awareness internal, take your block, place it off to the side. Closing your eyes again, hugging your knees into your chest, holding on behind your knees if you have any knee issues. And then you're going to release your knees down. If you have any low back issues, you'll take Savasana with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Otherwise, you can lengthen your legs out long. Turn your palms up beside you, or you can even place them on your belly. And then you can bend you're going to stay here. I'm going to sit up and read you a poem for during your Shavasana. Okay, this is a poem by David Whyte, and it's called No Path. And if it resonates with you, great. And if it doesn't, you can just let it go. So it's like when you're shopping for clothes and you're going with the clothes hangers. Sometimes there's going to be something that you like and you want to try on. And you might even take it home. And sometimes you'll just pass it right by. And sometimes you'll put it back on the rack. So same with the poetry. No path. There is no path that goes all the way. Not that it stops as looking for the full continuation. The fixed belief we can hold facing a stranger that faces the trouble of a real conversation. But one day, you're not imagining an empty chair where your loved one sat. You're not just telling a story where the bridge is down and there's nowhere to cross. You're not just trying to pray to a God you imagined would always keep you safe. No, you come to the place where nothing you've done will impress and nothing you can promise will avert the silent confrontation. The place where your body already seems to know the way, having kept to the last its own secret reconnaissance. But still, there's no path that goes all the way. One conversation leads to another, one breath to the next, until there's no breath at all. Just the inevitable final release of the burden. And then, wouldn't your life have to start all over again for you to know even a little of who you had been? So gradually allow your breath to deepen. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. Pause there for a moment. And then slowly make your way up to seated. So from seated, we will finish with our mantra, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, which means may all beings be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. So we start by gathering this into ourselves first, and then we offer it out into the world. And like everything else, if this resonates with you, you can do it with us. And if not, you can let it go, you can listen, or you can participate. It's up to you. So make space with breath and a sigh. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 324 of Namaste Yoga. If you liked today's show, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe. And then we put out a new show every Friday, so it'll show up in your feed. And if you know somebody who you think would enjoy today's show, then please share it with them. I want to thank you so much for your donations. This show is freely given, but it's not really free to produce, so we do appreciate your support. Thank you to Paige, Hannah, Leah, Eva, and Joshua for your donations this week. If you'd like to make a donation, you can click here. And you can also contribute of your time by commenting below. That helps us out a lot as well. So I would like to know, where does doubt creep up in your practice and your life? And if you'd like a list of the antidotes to the 5 hindrances, then if you go to melissawest.com/melissawest.com/324, then you scroll to the bottom, there's a box, and you put your email address in there. We will send you a list of the 5 hindrances and their antidotes. So I didn't actually speak too much to the antidote. I gave you a big dose of the antidote to the hindrance of doubt, but the actual antidote to the hindrance of doubt is in there, as well as the antidotes to all the other hindrances. So that could be nice to have, since we finished up with all the hindrances. Now we're moving on to something else next week. And if you'd like more support in building strength, like we did in today's class, then I would highly recommend our strength building series in our membership community. It's a 7-day series. So there are 7 classes to help you build strength in your body each day of the week. Monday, you focus on your core. Tuesday, your back. Wednesday, your chest. Thursday, biceps. Friday, triceps. Saturday, shoulders. And Sunday, glutes. So each day creates a fusion of yoga-inspired poses and the best of strengthening exercises. And in each and every class, you strengthen your lower body while working your upper body. And it's a fusion of yoga and free weights. So that's a really great series that you can work on each day of the week. Actually, I've kind of inspired myself to do that series next week. Might just take that up. Report back. So if you'd like to become a member, you can click here below. So thank you so much for joining us this week. And I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our ocean. May you be as strong as our mountains. And may you be as rooted as the trees in our forest. Om Shanti. Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.